We're digging into another chapter today of our 2020 lawn season guide, chapter 3. And this chapter is all about fertilization. I'm going to tell you about the ways I used to fertilize and then about the ways I'm fertilizing now and why I've changed things up a little bit. So you'll want to hear that, so don't go anywhere. Hello everyone, I appreciate you coming back for another edition of Budget Lawns. Thanks to all my subscribers out there. I do appreciate you. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Do all that other fun stuff, you know, thumbs up button, comment down below, notification bell, all those things that give me the feedback I need to know that I'm giving you what you're looking for here on Budget Lawns. And as far as what you're looking for, I hope today you're looking for information about fertilizing, because that's what I've got. Chapter 3 of our 2020 lawn season guide, going down today. If you haven't seen the rest of the guide up until now, I'll leave a link for that below. And since we're talking about fertilizing, you may have some questions about which spreader to use. I just did a video all about the basics of the spreaders I've used in the past. I'll leave that link below as well. But the meat and potatoes today going to be about fertilization. Now, you've heard my thoughts in the past about getting a soil test. That is an incredible idea. If you're not sure what's going on in your lawn and you don't know what nutrients it needs, that will certainly tell you. For me, it's just not something I've done, and I'm not saying I won't ever do it, I just haven't done it yet. My fertilization plan in the past has been nothing but organic, and I've kept it simple. Like most folks, I've used milorganite. That has become nearly impossible to find, so I've switched over to Lowe's Pro Care Natural. Essentially the same product. They're not necessarily identical, but it gets the job done. And in the past, that's all I've used to fertilize my lawn. And you know, I've done it usually about 4 times a season, the beginning of May, June, and the beginning of July, skip August, and then do it again in September for the fall. I just kicked off my fertilization schedule for the year for my first application this past weekend. And we're going to talk all about that today and how it's different than what I've done in the past. Since I've never done a soil test, I really have no clue what's going on in my lawn, and that's okay. I've always used the organics because it just got me some nitrogen, some phosphorus down for some good root growth, but no potassium. And that is why I'm mixing things up a little bit this year. Last year when I did my leveling project, I used just a balanced 10-10-10 generic fertilizer, and I saw some really good results when I did my leveling project last year and thought, you know what, I'm just going to kick things off with that again this year and do it just like I did then, so I can really kick things into overdrive a little bit quicker with that than I would with just an organic product. And the 10-10-10 is giving me the potassium I need, because I think I'm lacking some potassium in there, because you'll see in the videos and the photos I'm going to show, just ignore it. The spring dead spot is awful this year. If you've got a Bermuda lawn and you see these brown spots in your lawn coming out of dormancy and you're not sure what they are, it's spring dead spot. I did a video about that a few weeks ago, giving you all the info you need to know about it. I'll leave that link below as well. It's kind of frustrating, but I think by giving the lawn a little bit more energy early in the season this year, using this 10-10-10, I will help get it to spread faster, and those dead spots will take over sooner, and I won't have to look at them as long as I did last spring. So for the sake of not getting this video all over the place, I want to break it down like this. If you're just getting started in lawn care, there is nothing wrong with using an organic fertilizer. If you make mistakes with it, you can go heavy, won't burn your lawn, just throw it down. It's doing good for your lawn if you've done nothing in the past. Now, as you get a little bit more experienced and you get more used to using your spreader and you're a little bit more knowledgeable, you can bump up to something a little bit stronger and fast release, but the risk for burning your lawn is there. So you got to know what you're doing. And I'm making the decision to jump up this year for the reasons I have already explained. And now I'm going to explain my process, how I put down my first round of fertilizer for this year. My first step when I put down fertilizer, I always get a mow in. I want to take the grass down just a pinch so I can get more of the fertilizer through the grass and down into the soil. That's my step number one. Step number two, let's identify the fertilizers I used. I already mentioned that I used ProCare Natural in the past. I didn't completely give up on it. I used it for this first application as well, but it wasn't my main fertilizer. My main fertilizer was just the generic ProCare 10-10-10 balanced fertilizer, not too strong, not too weak. That is what I used for my main application. And fortunately for me, it kind of worked out perfect. It was a 40-pound bag. I've got a 4,000 square foot yard. So 10 pounds per thousand gives me 1 pound per thousand of nitrogen, which is what I want on a Bermuda lawn in the spring. So I just spread that 10-10-10 bag, the entire thing out evenly over my lawn. And I dial my spreader back a little bit on the Earthway 2600A+. I'm not worried about going too heavy right out the gate. I'd rather just apply it light all over the lawn, even if I have to make 2 or 3 passes, and that's what I did. I'd make one pass going east and west with about half the bag all over the yard. Then I'd come back and fill the hopper back up with the second half of the bag and then go north and south over the entire yard. Whatever I had left on that, just go back and just start spreading it wherever. I knew that I wasn't going to get too concentrated in one location and risk burning my yard with that 10-10-10 fertilizer, and I would be safe doing it that way. And that fertilizer is the quick release. So you're going to see some action out of that one a lot sooner than you would the organic fertilizer. And that's why I kept a bag of the organic fertilizer in play. Once I got the 10-10-10 down over the yard, I just redid that process, but with a bag of the ProCare Natural. It's a 36-pound bag, I believe, and I spread the entire thing evenly over the yard, just like I did before. And my reason for doing that is I wanted to put a layer of slow release nitrogen fertilizer on the lawn. So after that 10-10-10 kind of starts to fade out here in 2-3 weeks or so, I've got the slow release stuff starting to kick in that will get me through until my next fertilization at the beginning of June. And after I get it all spread out on my lawn, you want to make sure that you blow or sweep or whatever you got to do to get whatever got on your sidewalks or driveway in the street back into your lawn. Be a responsible lawn care fanatic and make sure you minimize how much of that stuff runs off into the waterway, especially because of the phosphorus in a 10-10-10 product. Make sure you blow everything back into your lawn. A step you just cannot forget in this process. So I'm trying to time this out to where it gets me a good solid month of results before I go into round number 2. And speaking of timing out this application, I timed it out just right. As I mentioned in my last video, we had some good warm days and some good warm nights. After I put it all down, I got a good 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of water down on it. Now the organic stuff does not have to be watered in, but the 10-10-10 does. You need to get that watered in so it doesn't sit on the leaf blade and risk burning your grass. You want to get it watered down into the soil. So I got it watered in nicely that first night. I'd love to have done it the next morning, but I wanted to get it done. Got it watered in the next night, that night, and then the next day we had some more rain. So everything just worked out perfectly. Warm temps, some rain on it. After getting it watered in, just ideal conditions for that fertilizer to kick into gear and start doing what it's supposed to. And then here we are 5 days later. Just got another mow in. I waited about 5 days. Would have liked to have done it earlier, but when I get the fertilizer down, I don't want to mow too soon and agitate that stuff in the soil. I don't know that it really does much, but just to be safe, I'd rather be patient and wait. So I went ahead and mowed 5 days later, and that's what you're seeing here. And it really has started to green things up and really has started to get that Bermuda on the move. And I think we're going to start seeing things filling in, especially those dead spots, and things start really getting to where I want it, where it doesn't look so much like it's coming out of dormancy as it has already. Where this time last year, I wasn't even close to where I am now. Unfortunately, we've had all the warm temperatures. Now we're back down into the 30s and 40s at night. We do have some more rain on the way, but those cool nights and these 60-something degree days just aren't helping with that fast Bermuda growth. But that's okay. I still think I got the fertilizer down just in time to reap some benefits of it early, and it's still going to keep working through this. Not ideal temps for growth, but nonetheless, still looking very, very good. So, to recap all that, if you're getting started, don't feel like you got to go the all-in route with something high nitrogen, other P and K, high amounts. Just get you some organic fertilizer down. Anything more than what you were doing is going to be great, but if you want to get going on something a little bit more advanced, people will tell you, don't throw a 10-10-10 down on Bermuda, don't know about whatever. You're going to hear a lot of differing opinions. I just wanted something balanced. Since I've never done a soil test, I wanted something that I would get a good ratio of everything, just in case I'm deficient on one. And that will help me kind of see how things respond, and then I can adjust from there, because that's really how a lot of this works. Feed it, see what happens, and then make some adjustments, and I'll do that if I have to on the next round of fertilization, or maybe the one after that further into the summer. All right, that should give you just about everything you need to know about the basics of fertilizing. And that's chapter 3 of our 2020 lawn season guide. I really don't even know what chapter 4 is going to be, but I do know that I'm about to get in the lawn here pretty soon and do a video about some cultural practices to help speed up the recovery of that spring dead spot, because it's driving me nuts. And we're just about to real time. We've been rotary mowing up until now. That thing's about to be broken out sometime real soon as well. So be on the lookout for that. Keep your eyes peeled here on Budget Lawns. Lots of good stuff coming up this season. I hope you'll be here to join me. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.